Hello, sir. I will explain my explanation. So, the first question: find minimally five definitions of discourse analysis and write a list of main features of discourse analysis based on those definitions. Okay, definition and main features of discourse analysis. So, the first, let's talk about what discourse analysis actually means. So, according to Brown and Euler, discourse analysis is the study of language in use, not just a grammar or structure. Then, second, Stubbs. Stubbs says it's about how language is used in real communication, both spoken and written. And third, Koch. Explain it as studying stretch of language that make sense together, like conversation or written text. And fourth, G. G says uh, it's about how language shows and builds social identities and relationship. And the last, Scriven. Scriven mentions that it studies how people use language to reach communication goals in context. Now, from these definitions, we can see some main features of discourse analysis. The first, it focuses on language in context, not just separate the sentences. And the second, it studies both spoken and written forms. And the third, it looks at meaning, coherence, and interaction. And fourth, it connects language with social and cultural factors. And the last, it explores how people use language to show identity, power, and relationship. So, in short, discourse analysis is not only about grammar, it's about how people really use language to communicate in every life. And the second question, why do we study discourse analysis? So, we study discourse analysis because it helps us understand how people actually communicate in real life. It's not only about learning grammar or vocabulary, it's about understanding how language creates meaning. Uh, Through discourse analysis, we can see how people use language to express feelings, build a relationship, or even influence others. For example, in conversation, the way we choose words, tone, or silence can all carry meaning. In education, discourse analysis helps teachers understand classroom communication, how how students talk, ask questions, or respond. In media or politics, it helps us see how language can shape opinions or control message. So, basically, studying in discourse analysis makes us more aware and critical. We don't just hear what people say, we also understand why and how they say it. That's why it's so useful for communication, teaching, and in even daily life. And third question, describe and give the example, the meaning discourse analysis and the use for the spoken and written. So, meaning and use of discourse analysis in spoken and written language. So, discourse analysis studies how language works in both spoken and written forms. In spoken language, it looks at things like conversations, interviews, or speeches. It pays attention to turn taking, pause, tone, and how people react to each other. For example, when someone says, hmm, or oh, I see, it can show agreement, interest, or hesitation. That's all part of the spoken discourse. And in, in written language, discourse analysis looks how ideas are organized in text, like essays, articles, or reports. It studies how sentences connect, how ideas flow, and how readers show their point of view. For instance, when reading a news article, we can see how the author structures argument or, or influence readers. So in basically, spoken discourse is more spontaneous and interactive, while written discourse is more organized and planned. Both show how people use language to make meaning, just in different ways. Different ways. And the fourth question, discourse analysis carries much more than its forms. It also carries its own particular function. So now they piece the difference between form, linguistic form, and function, and describe by giving example of the spoken and written language, sentence, and utterance. So difference between linguistic form and and function. In discourse analysis, form is the structure or grammar of a sentence, while function is the purpose or meaning behind it. For example, when someone says, "Can you open the window?" Grammatically, it's a question, but in real life, it functions as a request, not a question about ability. In spoken language, an utterance like "It's cold here" might actually mean "Please close the window." Now, so in written language, something like "We regret to inform you" has a polite formal function, even though the form is just a simple statement. So, for form tells us about something is said, but function tells function tells us why it's said. And discourse analysis helps us look beyond grammar and understand the real purpose behind the words. And that's why that's why the same sentence can have different meaning depending on the context, tone, and situation. And the last question, describe the role of context in interpretation. Pragmatic and discourse context, the text of situation. So, five question is the role of context in interpretation, pragmatic and discourse context. So, context plays a hard role in understanding meaning. In discourse analysis, context means the situation, the people. The context means the situation, the people involved, the place, and the relationship between them. Now, without context, we can totally misunderstand what someone means. For example, if someone says it's hot in here, they might be complaining, asking to open the window, or just making a comment. It depends on the situation. That's what pragmatic studies. How meaning depends on context and intention. There are two main types of context. The first, discourse context, which is the surrounding text or conversation that help us understand meaning. The second, situational context, which is the real life situation like who's talking, where and why. So, when we interpret language, we should not only look at the words, but also the situation behind them. And that's how discourse analysis help us. And then that's why the discourse analysis help us on catch the real meaning people are trying to communicate to us. Okay, that's all my explanation. Thank you.